gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got 'em 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires here, and we are glad you joined us talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. Ashley Stremme filling in for Erin Evernham, who is, I'm not sure what Erin is doing here.
I saw her in the snowy mountains up north.
Oh, she's in
somewhere.
Vermont. That's
yes.
right. Yeah, she's up there sliding down hills. She's going downhill. Yeah, there we go.
I
exactly.
like it where it's warmer, though.
Yeah, exactly. I prefer the beach where it's a little
Absolutely.
warmer. But that's right. I knew she said while y'all are going down to Daytona, the racing, where she's going up to the mountains. That's right. So she's up there skiing with Kate. So there you go.
Perfect.
So Ashley's filling in. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. How about yourself?
Oh, are you kidding me?
Revamped
it's fantastic.
from the great week of Speed Week.
Yeah, I mean,
great
you're
2
down
weeks.
there for 12 days. You were there 12 days, and I was down there as well. And you get back and you kind of catch your breath. And then, like this morning, Tuesday, it's like, okay, now let's dig out of the mess that's all occurred around here while I've been gone and start to waller through it. So another day or two, we'll be right back on even keel and ready to go.
Yeah, it's like a vacation, but you almost need a vacation from the vacation.
It's crazy. It really is. It's just absolutely insane. And it's just, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the life, the laundry, the this, the that.
So
I mean, I
true.
arrived, I do a rental car down there. Okay. So this morning I'm going to return the rental car.
Okay.
And I pull into the lot and I look at my regular vehicle and there's a flat tire on it.
Oh.
So I got to do, I mean, there's nothing wrong. It's just life.
Catching up, getting back.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all good. It really is. But everything is well, and it is all well. We've got a great program here. We have got T-Mac, picked up the big one at East Bay this past weekend, and Daryn Pittman joining us. So I'm telling you, already guys that are making the headlines thus far this year.
Yeah, and in big ways. This, both of them with new team owners
teams,
this
yep.
year. So pretty awesome stuff.
Good stuff. Good to start the season, and that takes us right into the Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. And really, the hot topic this past weekend was all down at East Bay, and I like it. And we're going to talk to T-Mac. T-Mac was the big winner. Okay. Mm-hmm. But what I like about it, we come in there on Thursday night, and representing the West Coast, Corey Eliason picks up the win with the Rudine number 26. Another new team.
Yes.
Another new combination. So good to see those guys pick up the win. Then we go Friday night, and the Keystone State is represented by Mark Smith. And Mark
always does well down there.
I'm telling you what, everybody I don't care what it is, whether you're 410 sprint cars, 360 sprint cars, Silver Crown, USAC sprint cars,
True.
Go-karts, buggies, whatever it is. I think everyone ought to just be thankful that Mark Smith doesn't focus on one of them. Because if he ever focused on one of them, he'd wear everybody out. That guy is so good, but it's like you'll see him, and then the next thing you know, he's running up.
Doing something else.
Yeah, he's doing something else. And it's great. He builds his Mach 1 chassis,
Yes.
and a lot of it is development for his chassis because he builds all those chassis. And so I get it, and I love talking to him. He's one of the most fascinating guys. But, man, there are certain places, Bubba Raceway Park, East Bay, I am telling you, that guy has money at those racetracks.
I agree 100%. He definitely, if he was to put all of his eggs in one basket, I mean, not that he's not a threat most of the time,
I
but
know, yeah.
it would totally bring it to a whole nother level for sure.
So he represented the great state of Pennsylvania with a win on a Friday night, and then the Midwest with Terry McCarl. So all regions are crowing already. So it is cool. It really was. It was the king of the 360s, the Ronald Laney Memorial. Another hot topic that I have is, and I just saw this, and I think this is really cool. It's not a result, if you will, but Williams Grove World of Outlaw races. I did not realize that apparently all the seats on that thing is you show up, you put your blanket down, and you go to the ticket office and get a seat. They're actually going to be selling reserved seats going forward. The World of Outlaws are going to do that. So
that's really cool.
Yeah, I guess I assumed that was happening, but then when I said, well, they're going to do something for the first time, I guess it wasn't happening. And so good for everyone at Williams Grove and the World Racing Group to put this together so that fans don't have to get there at 9 a.m. on a Friday to put their blankets down and go to work or do whatever and then come back and have their seats. So reserve seating, stay tuned, and they'll have that for you. So good stuff. Yeah,
well, and we talked about the seats at Volusia. You know, they're going to make them, the reserve seats are going to be bigger once they get the new stands in and have their own cup holders. And World Racing Group is really stepping it up.
So it's good stuff. It really, truly is. And there you have it, your Classic Ink screen printing and embroidery hot topics. Great T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, towels, hats, and a whole lot more. You can get it all at ClassicInkUSA.com, including the Wing Nation gear.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh. They've done a great job for us, and they can do a great job for you. That's www.ClassicInkUSA.com. Terry McCarl joins us in just a moment, but before we get to that, check this out. It's the Daryn Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week. This one is from the land down under.
And now for the Daryn Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
And maybe, just maybe, Stephen Lights might have something here, Cameron. He's making just little bits.
Little spaces. Tiny, tiny little spaces.
Look at this! Lines goes under. Wonderful. Just snuck up on him, just like we were talking before about Madsen is an expert at sneaking up. Lines has done that now.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Daryn Diesel All Death, the official death of the world of outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Daryn.com for more information.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld Racing Wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld Racing Wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld Racing Wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing, proven speed.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery, located in Greater Pittsburgh. Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA Screen Printing and Embroidery at the track and on your back.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
This is Danny Dietrich, and you're watching MRN's Wing Nation on MRN.com.
We are glad you joined us. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. And great stuff along the way here as we're off and running. It's so good to be off and running.
It really does. I mean, we've talked about it already. You know, the off season is never an off season.
Right.
I mean,
It's
you were
very
traveling
busy,
the country, and it's always just nice to regroup, kind of, if you say that.
Yeah.
And then we're off and running, and it's like, it's all excited again.
Right, exactly. And all excited again. I always get excited when I see our first guest standing in victory lane with a crown on his head. I think that's fantastic. He drives that Destiny number 4 car. Terry McCarl joins us now. Hey, Terry, welcome back to the show.
It's good to be on. You don't call me when I lose.
Well, I'm glad we talk to you frequently then. How about that? Yeah.
I hope more often.
Yes. Tell us about that win Saturday night down at East Bay. How'd you do it?
Can't divulge my secrets, or I have to say you guys. But I just love the event so much. I love the track so much. It's just, after the first night, Austin, my son was like, this track, more people need to see this track. The racing is so awesome here. People don't realize what a great race it puts on. Every single night was a great race, and 3, 4 wide, a top, a bottom, a middle, and that's all you can ask for as a driver and a mechanic. And then you get your car to work better than other people, you got a good shot of winning from anywhere. So I just like it because it's a fun track. I've been coming here so long. I have so many friends down here and sponsors, and we just have win, lose, or draw. We have a great time. Randy Burnett, our good friend from Burnett's Rock, always throws a big party for us, cookout and everything after the last night. Like I said, win, lose, or draw. So just a lot of fun. And then you throw in 85-degree weather, and it's freezing in Iowa, so it's a great place to be.
I couldn't agree more. You said in Victory Lane that this race means so much to you. You just explained a little bit as to why it personally means so much to you, but I know you were a good friend of Ronald Laney, and of course you're the most winningest, the fourth win for the Ronald Laney Memorial. Can you share a little bit about Ronald and why they do this race in his memorial?
Well, I don't want to say I was great friends with him or good friends with him. I mean, that kind of comes off wrong. I liked him. We were, friends in the pits, that kind of thing, but I was there the night that he passed, and I was there when he won. Like I said, in Victory Lane, I think I ran third the night he won. He drove by me and Gary Wright like we were tied to a stump, and I thought it was really cool because he wore that crown all night long, and at the pay window he still had it on. So he was so happy and excited to win it. And then, like I said, I was right there, when he passed, and his dad was great people. Everyone around him, they were great, fun folks to be around, and probably one of the few guys who knew him that's still out there racing, but. It's kind of nice that East Bay keeps his name alive and keeps having that race named after him every year. So, those things, it's a T-shirt race for me. I love T-shirt races. I love names, getting your name on one of those. I'm into the history of sprint car racing, and get your name on one of those shirts. It means a lot to me. Some people, trophies and things like that mean a lot to me. It's kind of dumb. The money spends, but those things will last forever, hopefully.
Absolutely. It is neat. It really, truly is along the way. Terry, one of the things that fascinates me, and I forget last year, we might have talked to you a little bit about it. I know I talked to Jason Sides about it in a pre-race show. The East Bay, the racing surface, and the tide. And the tide determines the amount of moisture. How do you manage that? And did you have a lot of those changes throughout the course of the 3 nights racing there at East Bay?
Well, I don't know how much that really, I don't know if that's a myth or not, but It's just an ever-changing, dirt itself, any dirt track is changing. That's what makes it fun over pavement. I think it changes a lot more than pavement does, and, a lot more during the night, a lot more during just the race. But I told Austin before that final night, I said, you could lap the field the first 2 nights and be lapping the field almost on the last night. The yellow comes out with 2 or 3 laps to go, and everything changes at East Bay. So you can seal up a tire really easy. That night that Ronald won, it was really slick, and all of a sudden I started literally driving straight in the fence. My car wouldn't turn, and it was slick. It looked like, and like kind of like that moisture came up. We had a couple of long yellows and a red, and the moisture came up, and everybody's car changed, and Ronald drove around us. It's one of those tracks I still think a local guy can win at and do well at. I don't think it's a real horsepower track as much as it is, getting your car to work and roll around there and rotate the corner. So. It's just a fun track, and the dirt is so different. And they used to add clay every year. They don't do that as much as they used to, which made it kind of slimy and different. But it's just different kind of dirt than we ever run, and it's a different setup. Gary Wright used to dominate down here, and he told me one time, he and I were doing pretty well, and he said, when you leave Florida, you need to stop up there at the state line, northern Florida, and throw all the notes, everything you learned in Florida, throw it out the window because it doesn't work anywhere else but down here. So. It's just different kind of dirt, different kind of facilities, and that's what makes it fun. I think it's not just a motor or horsepower deal, and you can run if you get your car right, which is showed if you look at any videos from the week. You can run the top, the bottom, the middle, and to me that makes it fun.
And it was a whale of a race. Just edged him out there at the finish line. But you're speaking of changes, and a big change for you again this year. You're behind the Destiny Motorsports number 4. Obviously, the year has started off very well. What is your plans for this year? Are you guys going to run a full season? Are you still going to be in your 24 car? What's your plan?
Rick and Barb have been my friends for about 4 or 5 years. They've been sponsoring me a little bit. We've got to know each other really well, and Destiny was there the first time I won the 360. Well, not the first time, but a few years ago when I won the 360 Nationals, and it was awesome. She was kind of dressed up like a little princess and come down to Victory Lane. She looked like the trophy girl. So we just had a lot of fun. Him just getting to know us and us getting to know them. And they were thinking about quitting racing, which I don't want to see any car owner out there quit. And I just been on them, hounding them to not quit and to let's maybe team up and do something together. And fortunately, they decided to go that direction with me, and they're just great people. And, it's already showing already. It just gives me a little more confidence to have some people, some help me out on the background. And, they're not overbearing car owners. I mean, I'm able to do whatever I want to do, go wherever I want to go, race wherever I want to race. But, I'll probably see the 24. Our deal was kind of, I'll probably run 24 back in the Midwest in the 360s and be number 4 everywhere else we go. So, I don't care what number I am, and that number means a lot to them, and I want them to be happy. So, being number 4, that's almost 24. That's half of it anyway. But they're good people, and I'm excited about it. And in today's world, to have someone help, backing you and helping you race, it's hard to find, and it means so much. And it's kind of giving me a new shot of life, really.
That's exciting. That really, truly is. And Rick and Barb, they've been great here the last few years in the sport doing their stuff. And, they've tried the World of Outlaw deal, and anybody that does that knows how tough it is. And so I love the fact that, maybe you guys together can find that little sweet spot that works for both of you, and it kind of helps you along the way as well and goes forward. So are you going to, is there a title? Is there a crown? Is there Knoxville? Is there something that you're focused on, or is it wherever the wind takes you this year?
Not really. I mean, I'll be at Knoxville most of the time. Obviously, it's 30 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So, but we're planning on going to the Kings Royal. I haven't been there in years, and maybe going to Nashville for the World of Outlaw show that weekend in Nashville, and go out to the Trophy Cup in the fall, that type of thing. So, like I said, kind of wherever Rick wants. Those are a few things Rick wants to do, and I'll go wherever he wants. We're not really going to chase the championship anywhere, even though we might, end up, qualifying for the championship in Knoxville. But, anywhere it seems right, or it just kind of depends how fast we are. If we're faster, we'll hit more outlaw shows. I mean, my goal, and I think maybe Rick's, if we can run well, is to maybe go back after the outlaw tour next year if we can put a good team together and, get everything, to where we could be competitive with the outlaws. I'd like to do it again if I could.
Nice.
Wow, that's
Love
extremely exciting indeed. Absolutely. Well, and we'd be amiss without talking about the boys as well, Austin and Carson. I know Carson just shared the other day that he's going to own his own team this year. How do you feel about that, Dad?
Well, it's just it's hard to find a good ride anymore, and a lot of them are owned by their families, and it's a tough situation being a car owner. Like I said about Rick and Barb, I really don't, whether they stayed with me or not, I didn't want to see them quit racing. It's so important to have great car owners like that. So, at this point where Carson's at and where we live in Iowa, there isn't a lot of, ride opportunities available. So, he said, I'd like to try to build my own team a little bit and get going and build his name up and hopefully find a ride in the future. He's certainly open to driving for somebody else. There isn't just a lot of opportunities out there. So, I think it's smarter for him to learn to sell himself and to get out there and try to learn to deal with sponsors and other car owners and show he's a very good driver. It's just, he's the youngest guy to ever win at Knoxville in a sprint car, and he ran one right away. He just had a lot of bad luck with the engines and things like that. So I'm looking forward to helping him if I can and to showing people how good he really is, because he is. And hopefully he can build a name for himself on his own and then get out there and find himself a great ride.
That would be sweet. That is for sure. Final question for you, Terry. You going to throw that party again at Oskaloosa, the Sage Fruit Front Row Challenge? Are you guys going to do that again coming up here in August?
I think I'm going to try to do that forever. So, Front Row Challenge, Sage Fruit Front Row Challenge on Monday, and the Sage Fruit Ultimate Challenge on Tuesday. So, we brought the War non-wing cars back on Tuesday with the ASS National cars on Tuesday, and then, of course, the 410s and the 305s on Monday. But, yeah, you know what, Lori and I love promoting. I love sprint car racing, so I always say I'm into the history of it, but I love the promotion end, and, I just want to try to make it better all the time. We have great ideas and make it fun for the fans, but, anything to make sprint car racing better for the future, it means a lot to me, and that the race means a lot to us. We work really hard on it, so I'm always excited about that, and then, when I retire, I'll probably promote a few more races.
Good times. That is for sure. Terry, congratulations getting that first trophy of the year down at East Bay. We wish you the best as you get more along the way, and I know we'll be chatting with you as well. Thanks for the time today.
No, I hope so. We're going to follow the Outlaws here till 1st of April. Austin, my son's my mechanic, and was my chief mechanic the other night and helped us win that race. So until he's actually going to run Las Vegas in his own car too. So it's a family deal. We love sprint car racing. So we'll see you guys around. That's good. Good news. That's for sure. Thanks, Terry. Thanks. T-Mac joining us there. Isn't that something?
That's
T-Mac's
cool.
got
That's
the
really
itch
cool.
to go.
T-Mac's got the itch to get back out there on the road again.
Woo.
Yeah, that's exciting
awesome.
right there.
It is really cool.
I hope they have a really good season, which would lead to that.
Indeed.
Terry McCarl is just a great racer, and great personality, great character, great. The list goes on and on. And him on the World of Outlaw Tour, that would really be entertaining as all get out.
It would. It would bring some... Who's going to get kissed in Victory Lane?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how many times did Johnny Gibson get kissed in Victory Lane? Exactly. I don't know that... I'll be honest with you, in the time... I don't remember when the last year Terry did the full World of Outlaw Tour, and we've been around only with Wing Nation 7 or so years, so I love it. I really do. That'd be great. That is for sure. Hey, we need to step away now. A guy that is already making headlines on the World of Outlaw Tour. In fact, he's undefeated so far on the tour. Daryn Pittman joins us next.
10 tours, over 200 nights of racing. The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 28th year. Whether you're enjoying the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series National Tour at Williams Grove, Eagle Raceway, Skagit Speedway, or any of the 9 ASCS regional tours across Arizona, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and beyond, winged and even non-winged, there's a race happening near you. Check online for schedule details at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when you can't be there live, catch the National Tour and select regional events on RacingBoys.com.
O'Reilly. When it comes to safety, nothing is more important than your vehicle's brakes. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing or grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best and Brake Best Select at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brakes from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
The Win a Z06 Corvette.com sweepstakes to benefit the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is underway. Go to WinAZ06Corvette.com to find out how you can win the Torch Red 2019 Z06 Corvette that is on display now in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. The winner will be announced Saturday night, August 10th during the 59th Annual Knoxville Nationals. Visit WinAZ06Corvette.com to win this awesome ride.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
I'm Paul McMahon. One has a display in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, and one has a framed picture of a sprint car. Here are Steve Post and Aaron Crocker Abraham.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. Ashley Stremme sitting in for Aaron Evernham today. We are glad you joined us as we're talking sprint car racing. Now, if you get a chance to follow along with us on all of our programs here on wingnation.com and over on MAV TV, you know last week on MAV TV, we spent some time with Daryn Pittman.
We did.
Well, Daryn ruined everything. No, he didn't ruin everything. We interviewed him before the World of Outlaw season opener. And he was great down there, finished second and third in the All-Star races. Little did we know when we interviewed him that he would just go down there and win all the Gators, win all the races, and roll to the first 2 wins of the season with the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. And he joins us on the hotline right now. Hello, Daryn. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Daryn, what is just the start of the season that you've had with a new team and everything else? I know Volusia is a unique animal and it's tough to translate, but how sweet was that now that you've had a little time to reflect on it to get off to such a solid start?
Well, it sure makes your next week off and all the lead up to the next race a lot more enjoyable, that's for sure. But really, we couldn't have asked for it to go, honestly, any better. Really, from the time we unloaded, learned quite a bit on our practice night, and our car just responded really well to all the changes that we thought we needed to improve. And a lot of times it doesn't go that way, but everything just kind of went our way at Volusia, and excited to get to a different racetrack and see how we shake out on some smaller places or just other places across the country.
No worse than third at Volusia, which is phenomenal for the first time being in that seat in years. And we talked a little bit on our MAV TV show about communication and just working with new guys. You guys are obviously off to a great start. What has really kind of been the niche there that you guys are finding?
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew that answer, because it'd be a lot easier to duplicate it every time you did change rides when that has to happen. But yeah, I don't know. I just think we got a good group. I don't think that any of us, I think the big thing is, we kind of just checked our egos at the door, and we were just focused on, what our car needs. And nobody's really out to prove anything other than just to ourselves. I don't know that anybody really expected, us to get off to the start that we did. And so I think it was kind of a no pressure situation. And I've got a new crew chief in Brent Ventura that did a great job. And, I think basically we just kept our heads down and focused on our car and what we could do. And that's kind of our goal for the whole season. And so, you never know how personalities are going to, go when you get to the racetrack, and when you mix four people together, you're obviously going to run into some problems throughout the course of the year, but as long as the focus is on, making the 83 car as fast as it can every time it hits the track, then I think we've got the right group.
Daryn, I've got to admit, watching both of those races out at Volusia, a lot of times the track will slick off and slow down a little bit. I didn't see much of that on Friday and Saturday night down in Volusia. As a matter of fact, it seemed to me to be a very fast track. And then then you guys mixing it up there, you and Christopher and you and Shane mixing it up there at the front of the field and everything like that. I had a couple times, in complete honesty, where it took my breath away. I'm like, okay, here we go. There's going to be three cars just sailing out off from turn number 3 or wherever you were at. Does it take your breath away when you have some of those moves along the way? Or what's it like being behind the wheel when you get in one of those spirited battles, particularly on a high-speed joint like Volusia?
Yeah, I mean, there's times that happens. I don't recall ever having a moment like that at Volusia. I think most of those moments are more when your car's not as good.
Yeah.
And so when you put it in a spot that you don't know that it's going to exactly stick, or you need more room than you thought. But I think when you get to the front of a race like that, obviously those are probably the better cars for that particular night, and everybody's in pretty much control of what they're doing with the race cars, and obviously we all make mistakes and misjudge what somebody else is going to do. But Christopher's a lot of fun to race with, just an unbelievable talent, and obviously there were several others up there that we were racing with for position. Brown, we had to pass him, I think, both nights. But it's always who you're racing with. You kind of have a tendency to know who that is and who you've got to leave a little bit more room, because they may not be as consistent as some other drivers, and so you never know what to expect. But for the most part, there was some close racing, and it was fast. It was I thought the racetrack was really good, honestly, all week. But both the outlaw races, for as fast as it was still very technical, and that you had to hit your marks to be quick. It wasn't just all relying on horsepower. You still had to have a good car and hit your spots, and when you did, you could really make ground on guys.
Well, you talk about that confidence in your car and being able to put it in places to be able to do whatever you need to do, but you've been doing this. I mean, this is it's been 20 years since you started your first full year with the World of Outlaws. You're obviously headed to the West Coast. Is there part of the schedule, I guess, that you enjoy most? It's like kind of a confidence builder for you when you get there because you run well.
Volusia has been that way for me for the last several years. Last year was extremely humbling. We didn't run a single top 10 the whole week we were down there, but really every time I've been to Volusia, other than last year, we've been really, really good, and it's always been a fun place for me to go and kick off our season. And yeah, I mean, there's quite a few. Anytime I go to Pennsylvania, I feel super confident going to Williams Grove, and always look forward to that. My most enjoyable time of the year really is right after the Nationals. I enjoy the drive out west up through the Northwest, through Montana, Washington, Oregon, and then the California swing there. So, there's definitely, I think I've done it this long. There's parts of the season that, you find good in all of it, because it doesn't do any good to complain if you don't like it or not. You still got to go and do your job. But there's parts of it that I enjoy, and about every segment that you just kind of look forward to, and that's the next obstacle that you've got to overcome and go and be successful at those tracks.
All right, Daryn, before we cut you loose here, you have a couple of races in Texas this weekend, then you go on to Vegas, and then, you just race right through November pretty much along the way. The weekend off, you just come off a weekend off. Is it honey-do lists around the house? Although Mandy's with you all the time, is it what's the last weekend like? What was it like in the Pittman household? Your last one for a while.
we've been pretty fortunate the last couple of years. When we go down to Florida, we have a motorhome, so we're never in a hurry to go back to Indiana where it's cold. So I think the last 4 or 5 years we've stayed down and gone to Disney and stayed at the RV park at Disney World and taken the kids there. So we spent basically 3 or 4 days at Disney and then moved on over to another RV park over in western Florida, headed towards Texas. So we just chose to stay going. Luckily, my oldest is homeschooled by Mandy, and so we have some options that don't include going home to the cold. So we've done that the last several years and enjoyed it. So we had a great week at Disney. I think it might have been more exhausting to me than the races were. But the girls had a blast, and that's always fun for us.
Yes, and Mandy tweeted a picture. You have to check it out. It says, the happiest place on earth, and everyone, especially Daryn, looked miserable. It must have been a rainy day. They were all in their parkas, and they're all just like,
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, but we got up that day, and you're committed. You've got your park passes already bought, and when it's raining, it's hard to want to go, but they've already got your money, so you better go and ride some rides. So we were just on our way to the park that morning, and it was raining pretty good. So ponchos weren't exactly how we wanted to spend one of our days, but it ended up clearing up and ended up being a decent rest of the afternoon.
There you go. Well, that is awesome. Well, congratulations on the great start to the season. We can't wait to follow along with Dirt Vision and throughout the year when we catch up with you guys in person. But best of luck in Texas and on throughout. And thanks for joining us here today, Daryn.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
There we go. Daryn Pittman. I'm telling you, that cat can wheel a race car.
it's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. I'll tell you what. I don't care. He might not be catching his breath. I'm telling you what, I'm sitting there watching. I know it's just common for him.
Well, all he sees is right here,
I know,
Steve.
But when they
You're watching everything else that's going on.
I know. When they caught that lap traffic and they're zigging out of that lap traffic, I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. What these guys do, I know we just got done talking with Daryn. When I say, but Daryn and these other guys, what they do, and I think the point is what Daryn said. When the car is good, you don't have those moments. Yep. Well, they got that car good, so he wasn't having those moments.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting there like,
I'm wishing the oxygen mask would drop down from somewhere there at Volusia to give me crazy how good but that just shows how good these guys are. My gosh, it's unreal. Hey, we need to step away. We've got more Wing Nation in just a moment.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
Since the dawn of American industry, Dryden was there as the country built its first roads, laid the blocks of its factories, and spanned rivers with new bridges and rails. Today, with Dryden's all technology, we instill this heritage into every Dryden oil, lubricant, fluid, and DEF product we make. Dryden is a tradition of performance with 21st century technology. Dryden, official motor oil of the World of Outlaws, and always American-owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
O'Reilly.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up a 5 1/4 ounce bottle of Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $3.99. Clean and lubricate your fuel system while increasing miles per gallon with Lucas Fuel Injector Cleaner for $3.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Plus, earn double O Rewards points on this purchase. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm Sammy Swindell, and you're listening to Wing Nation.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength as we continue the conversation, talking sprint car racing. One of the things we just love to talk about here on the show is the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, because it allows us to talk about people that we just absolutely enjoy hearing about, learning about, or maybe in some cases we actually saw race.
Yeah.
Yes, the history of it. So let's do this in the context of the birthday calendar. On Monday, Tom Holden, Jim McElrath, and T.E. Pops Myers' birthday. Tomorrow, Bobby Unser and Tony Willman. Emil Endres will have a birthday on Friday, and celebrate Steve Beitler, Frank Riddle, Bob Russo, Gus Schaefer's birthday, Sunday. But today, the Ohio Traveler turns 80. Rick Furcal, 1995 inductee into the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, 80 years old today, raced from the mid-60s to 1989, an original member of the World of Outlaws, where he has 18 wins, an original member of the All-Stars, where he has 12 wins. But in complete honesty, the reason he didn't have more wins there is he didn't like anyone to tell him where to go. And if there was a more better racer was going to pay more money than the World of Outlaws, he was going to get the money. And I'm doing the research. It's like, you can't even fathom how many, there's no clue how many races he won other than a bunch.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
And you triggered something when you said that, not being told where they want to go. Tim Schaefer. That's instantly what I thought when you said that.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, he would
do it our own way.
Rick would get like all of the racing trade papers, okay? Like Speed Sport News and then Area Auto on there.
We didn't have the internet.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't have the internet. There was the Hoosier Racing News or something. He'd get all of the papers and he'd just lay out, okay, well, this one's paying $4,000 and this one's paying $5,000 and this one's 27 miles from the house and this one's 2,700 miles from the house. And he laid it all out, and he'd just show up with that zero car, and everyone, here we go, Furcal's here, oh my God. Well, what does second pay for everyone else? And then he would just do it. I mean, and just wheel that car. And the beauty of it is he stayed active. He was very key when Christopher Bell first started in wing sprint cars. He drove for Rick. And Rick Christopher's talked about Rick Furcal and how key he was in Christopher's development. We just talked with Daryn about Christopher. Mm-hmm. Rick Furcal was part of that early sprint car life of Christopher Bell. And he's still active. You go around. I didn't know. See, I'm new to the party here with sprint cars. I've only been doing this for about 8 years. I'm new. We're up in Ohio sometime, and Dale Blaney said, you know who that guy is with the silver hair over there? And I said, he looks familiar. He's not. He says, that's a Hall of Famer. And then over time, you get to learn who these guys are. But Rick Furcal, my gosh, 80 years old today. The Ohio Traveler, a 1995 inductee into the sprint car. Man, the stories out there in that building.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you made a really good point. That's really cool. I never thought about having to sit down with all the schedules to figure out where you were going to race.
Yeah,
that's a great
back
point.
In the day. I mean, now we've got TJ. TJ Slideways, he just does it all for
right
us.
There.
Yeah, it's like, there we go. You just hit a button, TJ's calendar.
Area Auto, they send everyone's schedule out.
Area Auto sends everyone a calendar beforehand. But back in the day, nobody did that.
Right. I never thought about that.
Exactly. So great stuff. Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. Turn number 2. Hey, that contest they're having for the $20,000 sponsorship. Isn't that fun?
That is really cool.
Richard and Jennifer Marshall going to give a $20,000 Knoxville National sponsorship to the team that can generate the most money. Well, everything was going really well until those folks in Pennsylvania decided to get involved. But now I saw this week, I think Bill Baylog might have jumped to the top.
Oh, really? I haven't looked lately.
The North Pole Nightmare. Oh, well, Alaska being represented now. So it is great. And they have that Corvette. Bob was telling me about this Corvette. Okay, this is like a brand new Corvette. It's got like it's got like less than 20 miles on it.
Oh, geez.
They didn't even drive it in to off the truck. This thing is just brand new cherry Camaro or Corvette. I mean, it's just, oh my gosh. So sprintcarhof.com, sprintcarhof. And if you want some souvenirs and stuff, sprintcarstuff.com is their website there. Oh, hey, look for me. I'm registered over there, baby. Not getting married. I'm not doing anything, not having kids, but I'm still registered there. Our friends of the Sprint Car Hall of Fame, just great people in turn number 2 in Knox. It's been a ball hanging out with you.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, we always do the MAV TV show. Mm-hmm. Okay, and
every Saturday morning.
Every Saturday morning on MAV TV. But they're going to hang out, and we're going to do the weekend show also coming up.
Indeed, absolutely.
So we're going to talk with The Edge, Brian Monteith, coming up on Thursday on our Wing Nation weekend show, and we're keeping our fingers crossed for the weather.
Things Pennsylvania.
I know. How about that? Hey, thanks to Terry McCarl and Daryn Pittman for joining us here today on Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires and by Grunt Style. Wing Nation can be found on demand at mrn.com, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.